Right, 1604, good luck. So my opponent has how many? Wow, 5,500 games of rapid, that's really good. Okay, I'm going to counter that diagonal. Just get castled, then worry about what to do. Okay. So I'm going to try and challenge for the centre, and then develop the knight. Now it's a case of, do I counter this other diagonal as well, or do I try and challenge a bit more stronger in the centre a bit quicker? My opponent might actually want to do the same thing. So here, takes, here. It feels sensible to me, so I'm just going to try and counter this centre push. Okay, comes forward, so I'm going to launch in the middle. Might not get another chance to. Takes, we could take with the knight. We could do and trade the light squared bishop. I don't think I should though. I'm going to take with a pawn, release my bishop up somewhere. I'd expect d5 to be played. And maybe just bishop up. Logical development. Oh, he's gone for castling, has he? So, do I play d5 myself? Takes. Isolated pawn, but it's an advanced pawn. No, I think I'm going to develop the bishop like I planned. Okay, challenges it. I'm going to drop back now. Knight up. I might even just support the bishop and take. That's a bit risky, of course, breaking up my king's defences, so that would be risky. So what do we do? I'm going to develop the queen, so I've got an option to take back either way. I'm actually not sure how I would take. Get a strong centre, but you weaken your king's defences. So I'm not sure what I would want to take with. I'm leaning towards the pawn, but it's very, very risky. Very risky. Okay, so he doesn't take, at least not for now. So I'm just looking at developing a rook somewhere now. Again, I'm not quite sure where it wants to be. I could do this, but then you are going to take. I don't think there's any tricks like with knight forward. I don't think there's any tricks there. So I'm going to play rook across, but come right across and just try and really support the centre. So I'm still debating which way to go here. He might not take, but if he does, it's very tempting to go with the pawn, open the f-file up, but it's at the expense of my king's protection, which could be a problem later in the game. I'll get the cursor off the board there so there's no accidental slips. Okay, we're up a minute on the clock now, so later in the game we can try and use a bit of time. Develops the knight. So does that now allow a move like knight up? If you take, I take here. It still doesn't work, it still doesn't give me anything, so I don't see that being a move. I could move my bishop so you don't have the option to take and hit this pawn, I guess. Push, takes. So here, push, takes. Again, I don't think I can take back. It's too well defended. I can drop back, or I can leave it there actually and take the knight. I'm going to play this just to take away this tension and put pressure on the pawn. I mean, you might be able to just simply shift the knight back or something, your knight across. And then maybe just develop the rook and try and really challenge for the centre ground. I can always drop the bishop back if needed. It's just a very simple threat there. It's whether my opponent really launches one in the middle here to open things up. It does indeed do it. Now I think I can take, and if this pawn moves I can go here. So I might be able to then trade off. So I think it's okay to take, but I might be wrong. But I don't want to burn all this clock. Oh, he has taken, so now the knight hangs. So if I take here, trade, trade. If you take here, your bishop hangs as well, but you can take my knight. So what about grabbing a pawn? Gain a pawn, lose a bishop, gain a knight is fine. Gain a pawn. I think it's just a pawn, isn't it? I don't think I can take this one off. I think I can take this. Gain a pawn, lose a bishop, gain a knight. Gain a pawn. If you move your knight somewhere, I take the queen. If you go there, I could trade the queen or I can drop back. So I think it's a free pawn, so I'm going to take it. If it's a blunder, it's a blunder. I don't see it, so you just play what you see. Well, see, there is a knight hanging here. My knight is guarded, even though it's under pressure. Still got to watch out for ideas like the queen coming round, of course. Now that could happen later in the game. Again, cursor off the board so there's no accidental slips. Knight comes forward, so we've got the option to trade a queen, go into an endgame, then trade the bishop, then maybe a move like knight up. That looks sensible to me. I could do knight up immediately, I guess, but could get a little bit tricky. I'm going to trade, probably trade the bishop. I could drop back as well, but I don't think I should. Knight up straight away, I don't see quite what I'm gaining. So I'm going to take the bishop so I don't forget about it and blunder a piece. And then I'm just looking at planting the knight right in the middle of the board. Oh, has he seen any tricks here? Maybe. Okay. So knight up is my preferred move here. What have you got? Knight down, then we can kick the knight and undermine this. Can we do that immediately actually? Just go here to undermine this pawn. That looks strong, doesn't it? Let's kick this knight. If the knight moves somewhere, then we're going to potentially grab another pawn. So you might have to give up your bishop straight away. It might not be quite so critical now the queens are off though, but I think you're going to have to take here. Obviously, I can just simply take back. In a bullet game, I would just pre-move that, but it is rapid. I'm up on the clock, so no real need to. So right now we're up a pawn, but it's still only a pawn. Not necessarily winning, of course, at amateur level. But I'm still liking the move going forward here, so... Okay, does this give me anything? Take, and my bishop is bogged in, so I don't want to do that. So I'm looking at knight across. If I take, I think you're well protected. But if I move my knight, I'm still attacking the knight and the pawn. So if I drop down here, I'm attacking the pawn 3 times. You're defending it twice. So I could go here as well. If you do this, I can take. So that might be a move. As long as I'm not risking trapping the knight, this might be a move, but knight in's a bit of a nuisance. So here, if you go back, 3 attack it, 3 defend it, that looks fine. It feels like I'm a bit negative. Here though, if you go back, same thing, but my knight might be getting a risk of being trapped. So what about just going here? Now I'm going to come back, try and drive this knight back, then it's 3 attack, 3 defend, maybe just jump across and challenge this knight. But there's a very annoying outpost coming here for this knight potentially, so I'm probably going to go forward if I can at some point. I do have rook across as well, but you've got this knight down move, so where do we go? Yeah, I'm going to come across, challenge this knight. If knight in, I guess I can play rook across to guard my pawn. Rook up feels a bit loose. And I'm still looking at trying to plant the other knight forward. So he has gone there, so do I do this? Can I just grab a pawn now, actually, if that knight's loose? So gain a pawn, lose a pawn, gain a rook, lose a rook, gain a knight, lose a bishop, lose a knight. I think that's a move, but I'm not sure I should play it. But rook up here, I guess my rook is actually protected, isn't it? Let's guard this way. My rook is guarded by my knight. So now 2 attack the pawn and 2 defend the pawn. I don't have rook across here right now, but I do potentially have here. Again, you can counter that easily, I suppose. Hold on, have I just made a mistake here? How do I guard my pawn with knight back? I mean, I can trade the rook for a first move. I guess I can push the pawn up and... yeah, maybe actually I didn't even think of that move. Maybe just pawn up if the knight moves, and then I'm getting rid of this pawn which isn't protected. But the knight can't move with a check, so if the knight does move, I've got the option to trade the rook. I'm still that valuable minute up on the clock. Okay, launches one there. So trying to obviously undermine the defense of this these pawns. Can I go here then? If you come down, I can simply take here. You go here. So here, knight takes, pawn takes. Don't think it quite works. Yeah, I'm going to shuffle the rook across and hit this pawn. So now 3 attack and 2 defend. I guess you'll just play a natural move rook across. It's whether I can do something like this. Or shift this rook across, bishop back, I'm not sure. Oh, he's just pushed forward, but isn't that a pawn? I think I can just take that. And now I'm attacking another pawn as well. Okay, so he comes across to attack this one. So I could go here. I could even just take here. I can't quite push, I don't think. So here, knight back, and he attacks both. I might have to play knight back here, I think, just to try and guard it, because if this opens up, it's a powerful bishop. But if I can get this in, it is currently guarded. If you go here, I take. If I get b3 in, oh, he's gone there, okay. Now I don't have knight across because of his knight, so I'm going to take. Come back, hit the bishop. Three attack the pawn and only 1 defend it now, so there is another loose pawn here. But of course, this bishop coming back is still hitting 2 rooks, so that's what he's gone for. But I think actually, I think I just take. Oh no, I'm losing my knight at the end. Gain a knight, lose a rook. Gain a rook, lose a knight. That's It's messing my pawn structure up, but it's as good as I can do. It's as good as I can do. It's messing my structure up. So I can't defend them both. I think I go here and attack the pawn. It's whether I try and keep this out of pawn, like a move like rook across. He's done really, really well here, hasn't he? He's done terrifically well here. I'm going to try and grab the pawn and guard it. I'm going to try and do this and guard my pawn, but I can't. Too slow, too late. And in a bit of trouble now. If I open this up... I've got to activate this rook, but we're in exchange down, albeit we've got a pawn. I mustn't lose my bishop, of course. He's done terrific there. I do not want to lose this pawn, so here you just go there. Here, check. I think I have to give up this pawn as well, don't I? Here, you're going to walk into rook across in there. I didn't even take the time to try and figure that out. Why did I do that? Let's go here. I could have gone there as well to pressure this pawn. I'm going to try and activate the rook. I'm in real danger of losing this now. He's played that very, very well. I didn't take the time I should have taken. So this could easily be a loss now. Trying to get on this diagonal to get the rook forward just to keep him pegged back a little bit. And then eventually march forward. Might not be possible. Well, he's gone across, but now I can get the rook forward then. Here, I can't actually easily defend. But now I can get the bishop potentially back guarded by my rook. But if he just stays solid, it might just be simply down to the clock. He's gone back. So let's come forward. King comes forward. Let's push the pawn. So if he pushes, I've got an option to take, but it does open file for his rooks. Oh, that's a pawn. Okay, now I've got the extra pawn. I should be better taking the clock into account. Can we grab another one as well? Because rook across would be a blunder. He's got this though. I think I check here, and if he goes back, check here. Try not to be too greedy there. Let's come back. Dangerous pin there. He's done very well here, hasn't he? It's far from over. Now I've got bishop back to target this pawn, but it could be a poison pawn. I think I should check here. Well, now I can go here. A rook across. I'll say this rook across. Grab a pawn. Takes, but this pawn's going to be lost. Ah, here. No, it doesn't work. I was thinking of a rook check. Rook across, rook check. I guess you drop back. Let's come back, hit the pawn. If I could get the pawn and plant the bishop, then I'd do it. Oh, and I can. I potentially can. I think I'm better now. I think I can do this. And if he sacks rook for pawn and bishop, I think I'm still winning. If he sacks, I think it's still a win for me. It should be. I've got to get king here, pawn here. Let's come forward and run. Oh, I should have gone up there to block his king, shouldn't I? Try not to blunder a stalemate, of course. Takes. Now I think I'm alright. Got to come back. Ah, check, takes, check, wins. Yeah, that's a blunder because I've got check. Okay, well, we got the win, but he did very well, didn't he? Well done.